Okay, Lori. So let's talk about what we see as the opportunity, the convergence of AI, quantum computing, robotics, editable biology, and the influx of the social changes. Kind of how are we defining the opportunity that we've got in front of us, and why we found it so inspiring? What was it when we first connected, and I said, "Hey, this is kind of what I'm seeing and thinking," and you said, "Hey, I'm thinking very much in the same way." Kind of what was it that started that?
For me, I'm really, really excited about what AI is bringing. As a longtime technologist around since the interwebs started, I was around when I worked for .com, and we didn't know for 2 years that the .com was a web address, right? But that insight in looking at the technology itself, one, the technology that is out there with AI is actually not new. It has been around since probably 2015, 16. But it's finally the promise of technology is coming together. But to go back to that moment in time where we all, before we learned to think in applications, before we had computers in our, in the palm of our hand, we are at another pivot point in time. We are, as human beings, we're going to learn, and we're going to actually be rebuilding the foundation of what we're working on and how we're working. And it's amazing, if you ask me. But the call for leaders and for companies is, how can you really take advantage of the opportunity? Because you're going to be rebuilding. And the question is if AI is like, let's say a remodel of the kitchen. If AI is doing a demo of your kitchen, do you really want to put everything exactly back the same? Or do you want to take advantage of this opportunity because the demo is happening and actually build, right, some better enhancements within the same space that is, your workplace?
Well, and you even can go like one step further, because we're seeing it with a lot of the companies, a lot of the clients that I work with. They're like, "Oh, well, we're evaluating these AI tools and we're evaluating this." But even the evaluation that they're doing today is still within the same structure, processes, and approach that they've used for the last 10, 15 years inside of that industrial kind of hierarchical mechanism. And they're trying to find something that they can plug in, which is why a lot of people talk about the efficiencies or the displacement. And as Lori and I have spent time talking, what we see is kind of beyond that, right? Yes, we'll go through, we'll get some efficiencies. Hey, I'm all for an AI that allows me to not have to put data into Salesforce ever again and does it all for me. I'm all for that.
And expenses.
Right. But when you go beyond that, you're talking about the opportunity to recreate the way we work and the business models that take us to market, and the individuals that are going to kind of lean in and be at the forefront of that are the ones that we're looking to work with. They're the ones that we believe as a collective, which we'll talk more about later, we have an opportunity to drive significant change in the way the world works and the way individuals contribute to that, and achieve that purpose that each of us may have. And so we think the opportunity for AI, while a lot of people are talking about it in terms of, decreased costs or increased outputs, those measurable metrics that everybody's been drilled on for the last 20, 30, 40 years, we're kind of looking beyond that. We want to look at what are the outcomes that can go beyond that, one step beyond. And the path to get there, we believe, is that combination of the augmentation of the human skills, which we've neglected, if we're honest, for the last 15, 20 years, plus
Feels like the last 50.
yeah, yeah, plus the use of the technology, responsible, ethical use of the technology as well. And so the opportunity is so large. Some have compared it to, hey, if it's 2 times as big of an impact as the internet was, it's still huge. I've heard compare it to, 5, 10x the impact to society that the printing press was. So you have those on the extremes, and then you have those that are like, it's not going to go anywhere. And I kind of feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I kind of feel like we're like a little bit above the middle of that, towards the optimistic, believing that it can have impact, uncertain what that will in totality look like, but 100% grounded on the fact that we believe humans are going to have to up-level those human skills in order to stay relevant. Am I in the ballpark for kind of where we think we're coming
I
in on that
agree
spectrum?
with you. I'm, of course, always probably a little more optimistic. I see this opportunity as huge because here's what's different that didn't happen before is business leaders. And this is the thing that I want people to hear. It is no longer technologists and technology. For the last 20 years, having been a technology leader, I've asked business people to try to understand why things take so long, why, what the systems we're building. We are at the place where the systems, all the groundwork that needed to be done is there. So with AI, you as a business leader, I as a business leader, we no longer actually have to understand how the technology works, like the components and the breakdown and the structure. But we have to understand and shift our thinking and mindset way beyond logistics. We are in a world where everything is about analytics and reports and analyzing every little step of a process. Hey, that has gotten us here, but we've probably exploited every step we possibly can in most industries. But with AI, what we have in front of us is this amazing call for leaders who feel the responsibility like we do, right? To say, wait a minute, I actually owe it in my lifetime to start changing my mindset because I don't have to actually know what the technology, how it works anymore, but I have to start feeding the system good ideas in stronger, bigger destinations of where companies are going. There's no question to me that the money will come just because of the huge opportunity here. But what we need right now is a mindset shift to say, hey, we're going to start looking at a more holistic view rather than just my team, my company, myself, and start that thinking to really expand and allow for innovation and creativity to happen.
Yeah, to me, it feels like we're going from kind of a linear progression to, I don't know if it's as intense as going from linear to fractal, but it's definitely not as linear as it used to be, or it won't be shortly thereafter. And as you see what happens, as you see kind of, I mean, look, AI companies are popping up all over the place. I ran a search this morning on AI note takers. There's like 15 or 20 of them, very similar to what we saw with the .com, like this explosion of a whole bunch of them. Some will work, some won't. There'll be some consolidation on those tools, and then it will kind of level out. And that is one way it can go. The other is for those of us that have the curiosity, the creativity, the willingness to admit no one person has all the answers, that we're willing to learn from each other, have the humility to experiment, allow us to look at and test new ways of working, new ways of approaching things. And I like Lori's phrase, and I keep going back to this, and every time we record, this lessening of the define. We know where we want to go. We're not 100% sure how we're going to get there. And that is where that increase in creativity, that increase in focus, and all of those human skills are going to help us get there. Then when you augment them with an understanding of the tech, of how it can be applied in different ways to different things, creates this opportunity that those that are willing to take that first step forward, or the second tranche that are stepping forward and lean in and do what they need to not only understand the tech, but understand themselves and up level those skills in conjunction with understanding the tech, we believe are going to have an advantage. And I look forward to seeing where that goes. I have no idea where it's going to go, but I really look forward, and I'm excited, or we wouldn't have, started this business this way.
No, and I agree with you. I'm so excited. I mean, I'm a lover of people. I'm a lover of humanity. And I think humans are creative, adaptable machines. And with my neuroscience background, all I keep thinking about are what are the patterns that we're running? What are the self-limitations that companies are putting upon us? And then just looking through history, it has been amazing how humankind will come together and create in a very short time amazing new shifts and turns for humanity. And I honestly think that's where we're at is there is a call and an opportunity for us to say, all right, we actually are going to be rebuilding technology anyway, right? To take advantage of some of the AI, which will, yes, save us money and increase efficiency, but it's also going to remove a lot of friction that's there if we allow humans to really embrace the skills that are there. And my hopes is that, right, in the next few years, that all of us as leaders get to see and realize and connect to the opportunity we have to make a difference, in the whole, in all of humanity.
Yeah, absolutely. We look forward to exploring the opportunity with y'all. Look forward to having the conversation. So please don't hesitate to reach out and join the journey. Lean into the education and ask questions, because that's what we're doing. We'll see you all soon.